Darren, hi. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Craig. It's nice to be here.
Aptorum continues to advance the development of its therapeutic programs, specifically your ALS4 program, which commenced a phase 1 study earlier this year, is now ready to move into multiple ascending dose phase of the trial. What can you tell us about this program and its upcoming milestones?
Sure. So ALS4 is our first drug program that has entered into clinical phase. Just to remind everyone, ALS4 is our first-in-class small molecule program targeting a very deadly bacterial disease called the Staphylococcus aureus, or some people known as the superbug. We announced in the market earlier this year, we've started a phase 1 trials in March, and then this is being done in Canada, focusing on 2 phases. Our initial phase of focus is the single ascending dose, which we have now since completed, as we announced in the market earlier. We've completed 5 cohorts of the SAD single ascending dose studies, where we observed, in each group, 8 healthy volunteers, where we observed toxicity and pharmacokinetic profile of the drug. And we're very glad to report through our news release recently that no adverse events were observed. There were no dropouts being observed. So very much within expectations of our development of ALS4.
Darren, your second lead program, SACT1, targeting neuroblastoma, received FDA clearance to commence U.S. clinical trials. What are some key milestones investors should be on the lookout for with this program?
Sure. So SACT1 is our second drug that is entering the clinical trials of the ALS4. And we're very delighted, excited by that. We've been working on that drug for the last 4 years. And as we have announced recently in the market, we have received FDA clearance to start what we call a food and safety human clinical studies for this particular drug, which is going to be a very short trial. We expect this to be completed well within 3 months. And part of the reason for that is because this drug is what we call a repurposed drug. So basically, it was a previously FDA-approved drug that has been consumed in the market for well over a decade, which is now being repurposed for a cancer disease known as neuroblastoma. So as a result of that, we were able to receive a favorable pre-IND meeting with the US FDA. We now need to complete what we've got a very simple food and safety study for the next 3 months, and after which we'll be able to start the very exciting phase 1b/2a trials, and this is subject to IND clearance to start the phase 1b/2a trials for neuroblastoma patients itself, hopefully early part of next year as well.
That is very exciting, Darren, and of course, repurposing drugs is one of Aptorum's specialties. Aptorum is also developing a liquid biopsy-based approach for rapid diagnostics of infectious diseases. What is the current status of this program?
The liquid biopsy-based technology, which is called RAPID under our project name, is currently undergoing human clinical validation down in Singapore. Just to recall, the RAPID technology is basically a very advanced liquid biopsy-based or blood sample-based technology to diagnose what kinds of infectious diseases that's currently affecting the patient using genetic sequencing as a basis of approach. This particular technology, we have completed the in-license last year in September from a very renowned Singapore-based research institute called the A-STAR. And since then, we've been perfecting the technology as well as recruiting actual patients with infectious diseases for the validation of this particular technology. And within that, some of these patients may include cancer patients undergoing chemotherapy, who are what we call immunocompromised patients. They're very easy to catch infectious diseases. Is currently part of some of our recruitment program for the validation of this technologies.
Darren, on your last appearance on the Redshift Money Report, you and I discussed the commercialization of your novel supplement targeting women's health. When do you expect you'll begin generating revenue from this program?
So this program is a very exciting program. It's based off a very new supplement that we've been developing for the last 4 years. We have not seen any similar supplement in the market that targets women's menopause. And as you may know, it is a huge market in the world, and a lot of women are now looking for alternative supplements to help them with their lifestyle changes caused by the menopause. We've been working on this. We are now in our 3rd production phase of a commercialization batch of our Native as well DOI supplement. We expect to be able to start selling it directly to the market before the end of this year, and we hope to be able to commence as some sort of material revenue generation for the company over the course of next year as well. Our key market focus right now is in Asia, including Hong Kong, as well as parts of London, UK, and Europe. and we'll be also proceeding with registration for this particular product in the United States over the course of 2022 itself. So we're very excited by that, and we hope to be able to generate some interesting revenue for the company. I would also still urge on a caution side is that at the moment we have not provided any forecast in terms of revenue for this product, and we hope to be able to update market once the product is fully commercialized.
Aptorum has an impressive management team and high executive ownership. Let's talk about some of the key players on your team.
Sure. Maybe I'll start with an introduction about myself. So my name is Darren Loy. I'm one of the 3 executive directors of the company. And previous in my role, I was trained a chartered accountant with Ernst & Young. And subsequent to that, I spent most of my career as a banker at a major UK-based investment bank called Barclays Capital for most of my career before I joined Aptorum Group in 2016. The second person I'd like to mention is our CEO and also founder, Mr. Ian Huyn. Mr. Ian Huyn himself was an economic graduate from Princeton University, and subsequently he joined what was then known as the Janus Mutual Funds in their Denver office as a U.S. healthcare research analyst for many years. And subsequent to that, he started his own U.S. healthcare investment fund where he focused on investing in U.S.-based biotech. And around 2016, when I joined, we decided to spun off some of the key assets into what is now Aptorum Group today. Our third key member is our Dr. Clark Chen, who is our third executive director and also CMO. Dr. Clark Chen himself was trained MD in the University College of London. He brings with him a lot of clinical experience, a lot of patient recruitment, and also network within the hospital group, which is essential for some of our clinical trials. The other person I'd like to mention is our head of research and development, Dr. Thomas Lee. Dr. Thomas Lee himself previously spent most of his career with Celgene and Novartis. In fact, during his days in Celgene, he was part of the candidate selection committee where he oversaw over 25 assets under development at Celgene. And during his time, over 10 of them have since reached the market, and a number of them has reached blockbuster sales as well. So it brings with him a lot of experience in our clinical development process, our strategy, and also our regulatory focus around early stage research and responsible for bringing them successfully into the clinical trials.
Darren, to recap, what is the essential value proposition? Why should investors take an interest in Aptorum today?
Aptorum this year has undergone major changes in terms of achieving our milestones. We have gone from what is previously a preclinical stage company into now a full-fledged clinical stage company with 3 assets in different parts of the human clinical trials. So we believe that actually, as I said in there earlier, there are major of catalyst and milestones coming up in the next 6 months, a number of which related to our completion of phase 1 trials of ALS4, our commencement of phase 1b/2a trials for SACT1, and also our human clinical validation data of our liquid biopsy-based technology, as well as on a non-therapeutic side, our commercialization of our Nativus Well women's health supplement as well. We also have a number of collaborations right now. We're currently evaluating a number of immunomodulators with Yale University, as well as other academic institutions. As a result of that, we believe that we have a number of catalysts coming up, and it is actually a very exciting time for Aptorum Group, and I urge investors to keep an eye on us in terms of our near milestones and our achievements before the end of the year.
I'm sure they will, Darren, for it is truly a great story. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Craig.